Hello, hello, hello. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, everyone. 147. What's wrong with our computer? Is everyone looking for Hello. Hi. How are you? How are you? I hope you're okay. How are you? Welcome, welcome, Ania. Good to hear. Hi, everyone. So today I'm just going through some questions from my shorts. Okay, yeah. Hello, everyone. So I'm going through questions from my short videos, and we're going to discuss them in more detail. So the first one is I was asking this question on my shorts, and it got lots of views and comments on TikTok, because I post on TikTok as well. And the question was, would you rather babysit a toddler who has started potty training, or babysit a newborn baby who has colic? Colic is when a baby cries for no reason. This is from dictionary. They just cry a lot, constantly crying. They cry a lot, basically. And do that babysit either of them for 5 hours. Which one would you do? Which one would you go for? And a lot of people obviously had different responses. Some will say, I would rather a babysit a baby, a newborn baby, even though they have colic, and that means they're crying a lot. And others will say they rather babysit a toddler who is being potty trained? And some people said neither. They don't want to, babysit any of them. So, oh, hello, Stefan. So what do you guys think? Would you babysit at all anyone if you have babysat before? I mean, I have done babysitting in the past, and it's not the easiest thing unless you love children. If you love children, then it's so easy, and if you get along with those children you're babysitting, it's easy and it's very fun. But if it's new to you and you don't know how to handle children, then it could be challenging, really hard. So it just depends on the person. But in this case, this is like when you're babysitting so a toddler who's being potty trained. That's a whole new experience you need to have, because if you've done it before, if they're being potty trained, then you got to put them on that potty or toilet frequently, and many times they will have potty accidents, and they have to clean them and clean where the accident took place and do the changing, and that will probably happen a lot often throughout the day. So there'll be a lot of accidents and cleaning. It's messy, and it's a toddler, so most toddlers have tantrums. They throw tantrums, so they might be screaming at you, and you just have to understand they are toddlers. That's just what they do, and that's okay. So like I said, if you love children to bits, then it will be easy for you. And most people love children, of course, but it's just you got to get used to it, And some people can babysit for only like a little bit, but when things start getting really difficult, they're ready to call the parents. When the child cries a lot and you don't know what to do, you've given them milk, you've tried to cheer them up, and you've changed them, and you just don't know what to do next because they're becoming really, really fussy. So you just call the parents to sort out the rest of it. And funny enough, some people, I know I'm moving away now from babysitting and all. Some people don't want to have children. They just rather be aunties and uncles, and they don't mind babysitting, but only until the child becomes really fussy, and then they can pass them along, give them to the parent, give them back. They're happy with that. They just don't want to have their own child or children. Just for that reason, they don't want to have that extra responsibilities in that sense. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's your choice. But anyway, I'm going to move on from that. And I was going to talk a little bit. Let me find another short and another question in my short videos and see what else we can discuss. Just give me a few minutes. No, actually, a few seconds. And I'll be there with you. And so it is late where I am, very late. So I'm actually surprised that there's someone on here. But I'm grateful that some people are just, coming to check out what's going on here, and then maybe leaving and then coming back. That's okay. All right, so let's see. Have you guys ever tried protein diets? By that, I mean zero carbs, so carbohydrates. So things like pastas and rice and I don't know, potatoes and, anything carbs, bread. So cut down on all that and then just eat protein source food like lean meats and like steaks and chickens and fish, eggs, beans, vegetables, fruits, things like that. And that's the diet I'm on. And I'm trying that diet for the first time in my life. I'm trying it for 1 month. It hasn't been a month yet, and I'm trying to see how that if it's just for weight loss purpose. I'm trying to see if it works. I'm almost halfway through the month, and I can see that it is working, but it's working slowly. So I've lost some weight, not a lot. I've only lost like maybe 1 or almost 2 kilograms. So it's fine, it's great. But I think I will be able to lose more weight if I exercise. Oh, okay. I've saved you from a cringe AI, steal a brain rot live streamer. Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad. Oh, hi, cat play, cardios. Yeah. So hello. Sorry if I couldn't say your name properly. Um, so yeah, protein, zero carbohydrates, diet. It's great. But so after a month, I'll see if I weigh myself and see if I've lost some weight. So it's just about health, trying to eat more healthy. There's nothing wrong with carbohydrate, but I think if you eat too much, which I used to eat a lot of carbs, a lot, and that's not wasn't good for me. So I'm changing that and see what happens. Just trying to watch my weight. Anyway, right. Let me get another question from my shorts. I have so many shorts on my YouTube channel. I post shorts a lot just because they're so easy to post. They don't take that much time anyway for me to post. Like 30 second post, so easy, or even less than that. So I tend to post a lot of shorts. I'm trying to be I'm trying to post long form videos, but they take a lot of time, and I'm not in a position where I can spend that much time frequently to be posting long form videos. I do post them sometimes, but I can't stay consistent with that. So the little amount of time that I have each day, I spend it posting short forms because that's the time I have throughout the day. So let's go. Let's see if you ever. So the next question is, if you ever win millions. Oh, come on, a minute. If you ever win millions of dollars, pounds, euros, say in a lottery, would you make it public and tell everyone, or would you make it private and not tell anyone? What's your take on that? What would you do? Now, some people say they'll make it public. They'll let everyone know. It'll be in the media because obviously they want to be known for, like, this is the winner of this year, or of whatever. And then obviously they get to be on television. They get to be on social medias and platforms and get to be interviewed by this and that, maybe, right? And then get some fame from that because they're kind of a celebrity now, and they want to use that fame for different reasons. Maybe they want to build more wealth from that and so on. And because they will get interviewed a lot by different streams, because a lot of people want to know how has that changed their lives, and how are they living their lives, what are they doing with the money and all that. And then other people don't want the they don't want other people to know. They don't want anyone to know at all, because they want to keep that peace of mind. They don't want people to be asking them questions. They don't want to be on TV. They don't want to have a lot of people at the house trying to take pictures, trying to ask them questions and be on the news. They just don't want that fame part of it. And so for them that's peaceful and they just want it that way. So everyone has obviously those things differently because we're all different. So now move on to the next question, which is, let me find it. Right, what's the next one? Short. So, what food you can't live without? What food you can't live without? Now, for me, the only food I can't live without, actually, not just for me, it's not just one food I can't live without. I literally can't live without any of the food that exists. I love all the food that exists. Just eating them in moderation, obviously, and picking the right options. So to keep eating healthy. That's most important. But I can't live without the food that already exists. Let me see. But I think there's one that I can live without. I can live without I can live without butter. I can live without butter. What's the other one? Yeah, there are quite a few because I don't actually eat every single food. There are some that I don't even think about. They exist, but I don't really think about. And even if I think about them, I won't go, and if I see them in the shop, I won't even buy them because they don't appeal to me as much. So butter is one of them. You can live without working. Well, that's true. I'm talking about food, but that is true. You can live without working. Yes, you can. That's a tricky one. Yet you can live without working, but then how are you going to pay your bills if you don't work? You have to work, right? Because you have to work so you can pay your bills. You can't. That's it. I was thinking the same. You can't live without working because you need food, you need to eat, you need shelter, you need money for all those things. So if you're not working, how are you going to afford all those necessities of life? So I think you can't. What does everyone else think? Yes, that's it. If you are unable to work for reasons like obviously being disabled, for the reasons like this, disabled and other reasons, then you're getting help to help you survive. Then that's true. You can live without working, but other than that, you can't. You have to work, right? Because you go to make a living. What else can you live? So so going back in terms of food, you can't survive on government handouts. Oh, I don't know personally. Yeah, you can't. I don't know. I couldn't answer. So I don't know. Maybe someone knows the answer. You can't survive on government handouts. Yeah, maybe you can't. I don't know. So I can't answer that. Right. So yeah, I can live without butter because butter I can live without mayonnaise. Yeah, without ketchup. I can live without, although those are not like food, those are like accessories for food, the side thing of a meal. Yeah, I can live without chips, although chips are nice. I can live without bread. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, I can live without pasta. Although I like eating these things like sometimes. but I don't really think about them. So I don't really, and even if I think about them, I won't buy them. Even if I buy them, I probably cook them once and then the rest, I won't even finish the pot. So yeah, I can live without these things. But that's just me. Some people can't. Food wise, what else can I live without? Trying to think of food. I can't think of any other foods that I can live without. What about you guys? Let me read the next question. But I can't live without vegetables, without meat, without chicken. Oh my gosh. Without fish, I quite like fish. Right, so the next one is, so when you accidentally fall flat down, so you fall down in public by accident, and then you feel so ashamed and you try to get up so quickly and hoping someone didn't see you fall, and then you just try to pretend like nothing happened, but you can tell people have seen you. People saw you fall and they try to be concerned and they're asking you if you're okay, and you rather they didn't see it, and so they don't have to ask you questions, and you're saying, no, I'm okay. When sometimes you're not really okay. It can be embarrassing. That has happened to me. It's happened to me. Yeah, it can be very embarrassing. And I know that because it's happened to me. It's crazy. Especially during the time when it snows and then it's snowing and then the floor is slippery. And then you fall, because a lot of people fall during that time when it snows and then the floor becomes icy. So it's easy to fall. So that has happened. And then it was so embarrassing. But anyway, that's a little bit I was sharing. And then I'll move to the next question. Next question is, if I can find it. I should be able to find it. I'm just dealing with a different phone. I've got two different phones here because one doesn't work properly. It gives me a headache all the time. I need to replace it. Well, I can't afford it yet. I can't afford to replace my own phone. Come on. It's not working, this. Okay, so the next question is this. So the next one is, would you rather babysit a young teenager who likes talking back and who's really not behaving, or a toddler who throws tantrums very often? Which one? So would you rather babysit a young teenager who likes talking back or a toddler who throws tantrums very often? Personally, I don't know. I can't answer that question personally. But I know some people have said they would rather babysit a toddler, because even though a toddler is throwing tantrum, oh, hello, hi everyone. Hello. Hey, yes. Yes. Are you okay? Are you all doing well? Thank you very much for coming on this. So the question was, would you rather babysit a young teenager who is not behaving at all, or babysit a toddler who throws tantrums often? Some people have said they would rather babysit a toddler who throws tantrums often because why? Oh yeah, because it's just easier for them. Because the toddler, if they throw a tantrum, you just listen to them and wait. You can hold them, and then they'll calm down. You can give them, I don't know, milk or whatever they might be needing, and then they'll calm down. But a young teenager who is not behaving, some people don't know they don't know what to do. They just don't know what to do. So it can be hard for them. And others will say, no, I'd rather babysit a young teenager, because at least this teenager, I can talk to him or her, and then we can communicate. But a toddler, it's hard because they don't understand. You can talk to them, but they're just too young to reason or understand. So communication will be really hard. So that's that. Right, let me pick up the next. So many questions. If you have the time, I could be here for a while. A very while. So right. So the next question is, do last borns just get away? People who are born last. Well, everyone know who last borns are. So last borns, do they get away with everything, especially in big families? Because at this point, parents are too tired to deal with the last born children. They're too tired. They've had so many kids. So much energy has been poured into those kids. And when it comes to the last one, they're just too tired at this point. So those last borns get away with so much versus the firstborn, who, the parents have so much energy. They are new to being parents, so they are taking everything serious, and they're reading books, and they're trying to figure it out. They're scared, they're worried, they're anxious, they're saying no, no, no a lot. And you know what I mean? They're extremely careful. But once they've had so many children, they've had so many experiences. And when it comes to the last one, they're really tired. So they're not as strict as they would be with the first few kids they had. So the last ones get away with a lot. And a lot of last born people have said, yeah. We managed to do this, and we did that, and we did that. But then the first ones would be like, no, if we did that, we'll probably get in trouble by our parents. They wouldn't allow it and all that. But yeah, so that's just explanation from some people, some comments I got. So you can tell me what you think on all this. Now, if you want, I can carry on and then move on to the next question, which is, first of all, I want to say something. So the next question is, right, okay, the next one is to do with the first and last borns. So some people say the firstborn children and the last-born children are usually the favorite children in the family. Is this true? What do you think? Are they the favorite children, the firstborn and the last-born? The middle children, not so much. with the first and the last. Now, so some people would say the firstborn is definitely the favorite child. Yeah, favorite child, but most disciplined child as well. So the parents are more strict, and that's the favorite child. But the lastborns, they are the favorite children as well, because the parents, they know for sure they're not going to have any more children after that last one. So they're going to probably want to hold on tight to that last one, because they're never going to have a newborn again. They're never going to have a 1-year-old again. They're never going to have a toddler again. They're never going to get to experience all those sweet moments of a little baby again. That's the last one. So try to hold on to that last born childhood as much as they can. So maybe that's why some people say the lastborns are the favorite and the firstborns are the favorite. So the firstborns will be the favorite because that's the first baby. Everyone is excited. It's amazing. You're learning new things. You're learning to be parents and all that. So yeah, I can see why some people say that, but you're gonna have to ask actually people who are firstborns and people who are lastborns. So I don't know about your own experience being the firstborn or being the lastborn. If you are the firstborn, were you a favorite child or are you the favorite child? If you are the lastborn, are you a favorite child? So I would like to hear responses from people. What you guys think? It'd be interesting to know, to find out. So waiting for your comments, guys. And I hope my voice is not too low. I really hope people can hear me properly. But if you can't, you're welcome to tell me, and I can just raise my voice. That's not a problem. Well, raise my voice in a way that so you can hear me better. So move on to the next question. Just give me a moment and I'll find it. Okay. So this question is about when children bring homework home. Let's say a child brings homework home, a child who's in high school, for example, like in year 11, or even a child who's in college, year 12 or year 13, and they bring homework home or assignment. Let's say it's to do with maths and it's to do with algebra and statistics and all that. Because that for me, especially, that's hard. It's very hard. So they need help with that homework, and they're asking for their parents to help with that homework, right? Because they just don't get it. They don't understand it. So they need that extra help. And then let's say the parents can't help because maybe maths was not their favorite subject in school, and they really didn't do well in that subject. Actually, they failed them. They failed maths. And they can't help because they don't understand it either. So what's going to happen? Who's going to help who? The parents need to help themselves before they can start helping the children with the homework. What happens then? So this question, some people have said, well, as a parent, you have to learn it because you can actually learn. You can just go online, go on Google, buy books, whatever, and learn these things. And you should be able to learn it fast. And so you understand it. And then you can explain it to your children and help them with their homework. That's the responsible parents, right? And, some people say, yeah, that's a tough one because if you're going to have to teach yourself, understand it. By the time you understand it yourself, that's if you understand it because it's not easy, these things. And especially the last time we touched on that subject was years ago. and you didn't understand it back then, I don't know, you might try and understand it now, but it's difficult. It might be still difficult for you, even though you are older now, your brain has matured. It might still be hard to understand, which it will take time before you understand. And then to explain to your child, by the time you understand it and start explaining, that homework will be due. You know what I mean? So that could be frustrating for some parents. Honestly, some parents can't help the kids with homework, not because they don't want to, but it's because it's just, and it might not be that one homework, it might be many, many other homeworks, and especially have many children. So some parents struggle with these things. Yeah, so I don't know. Well, so I think that's when they just say, you know what? They pay for tutor. They just say, you're going to get tutor. And they pay for tuition fees, for tutors to help the kids with these things. But again, there's a lot of learning resources online, books and stuff. So there's so much help, to help you understand these things. If you don't understand in a classroom, there's so much help online. Even from your own teacher, you can just ask them for materials and stuff. So it's great nowadays. There's a lot, you can learn a lot of things. Anyway, next question. Next question. Right. Or next topic, should I say? Okay, so right, this one is about bravery and being a coward. So the question is, if for example, you are being chased by a hungry and an angry lion, and would you stand your ground and try to fight it, or would you run away? Like the very second you see that lion running, chasing you, would you run away as fast as you can and as soon as you can? Would you, the reason why you would, for some reason, try to stand your ground and try to fight it is so that you can be told, wow, you are brave. And the reason why you would run away is because you don't care if people call you a coward. So which one would you do? That's the question. So personally, I would run. And I know most people would run because it's scary. I don't care how brave you are. If you're being chased by a lion that is hungry and angry, it doesn't matter if you are big and giant and strong and whatever, you're going to be scared. That is scary. I would run. And if I'm called a coward for running, I'll say thank you. I'll just say thank you for calling me a coward because I ran for my life. You know what I mean? I don't want to be brave for something like that. But anyway, that's that. So let me see next. Next. Thank you guys. I'm just gonna so people have left. Right. When people come back, I will announce. So I was just gonna say, for those who have who have subscribed, thank you so much for your help, for subscribing. It just helps. It keeps me motivated to keep posting. So thank you very much. Thank you so much for subscribing. It keeps me motivated, and so I can keep posting more. So let's go through. Let's go into the next one. The next short. Let's see. So the next one is this. The question is, what's wiser? Competing with others in life or competing with yourself to be a better version of yourself than your past self? Competition, right? So, competing with other people or competing with yourself, hey? Now, it sounds right when you say competing with yourself. But when you say competing with other people, to me, it sounds right when I say competing with other people, because that is a competition. You normally have a competition with other people, and then there's going to be someone who's going to win and someone who's not going to win. But if you're competing with yourself, so who's going to win? I don't know. That sounds doesn't make much sense. It doesn't make much sense to me when you're saying competing with yourself. But at the same time, it makes sense, because if you think about it, so when people say competing with yourself, when you don't think about it, it kind of doesn't make much sense. But then when you truly take the time and think about it, it makes sense, because